afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. And it doesn't get any more retro than this. I have the 6-pack of vintage figures from Target. These are not quite replicas of vintage Kenner figures, but, well, maybe the Walrus Man is, but these are, how do I describe these? Reimagined, maybe? If they, if these characters had been released in 1978 or whatever. So let's take a look. They come in a pretty cool box. I like that they put them in this box to, the card doesn't get all messed up. It's nothing worse than when you want a card to stay in good shape and then, they just put them in some kind of mailer or something all willy-nilly. But I did find this right off the shelf at Target, which I didn't expect. That's pretty cool. Wasn't the cheapest thing in the world, but for 6 figures, it was not a bad deal at all. All right, I'm gonna just carefully pull these out, and the first one is the Rebel Fleet Trooper, which I believe that name first appeared on the, I want to say 96 release of the Power of the Force 2 Kenner Rebel Fleet Trooper, because we didn't really have a name for these guys other than, Rebel Troopers, I guess, at the time. But that name seemed to stick, and that's cool with me. Very neat looking figure. The card is actually in a lot better shape, a lot sturdier than you would think. It's unpunched, of course. It has that dumb retro sticker that if I open this, I'll probably just, not worry about it. But if I keep it carded, I'll probably pull that off. I pulled it off of some of these that I got from the A New Hope, the first A New Hope wave. But nice looking figure. Looks like he has just, a very simplified version of that helmet, which that's expected. That's fine. And he comes with the right gun. And looks cool. All right, who else do we got in here? Let's take a look. Next one is the Sandtrooper. And again, this is the name that, has kind of stuck in more recent years, because at the time it was just Desert Stormtrooper or just Stormtrooper, because, we didn't make any real difference between them than the regular Stormtrooper. They're just dirty. And we'll compare this to a actual vintage Stormtrooper, and we can see. I like how they try to maybe raise the brow on the helmet a little bit, like some of the Sandtroopers are. That's interesting. And he comes with that one blaster that the name eludes me. I used to have one of these. Pretty cool. It's like a machine gun for a door gunner from a World War II plane. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll stop rambling about that. You don't care. It comes with a very nice card again, and this would look great if it didn't have the stupid retro sticker there. Like, yes, we know it's retro. There was obviously no Sandtroopers released back in the day. And it says a lot of yada yada stuff on here in teeny tiny print that I'm not going to worry about. Just want to show it to you. And very cool Sandtrooper. Very cool. Am I going to open these? Well, let's see. We'll make that decision here in a second. Ponda Baba. I don't think I'm going to open him since he's just I already have a Ponda Baba. But the rest of these figures I kind of want to have in hand. So I'll be thinking about that as I'm reviewing these. But he doesn't look too different than his initial release, I don't think. So that's fine. Same card stuff here. I guess they just wanted to throw in a Cantina alien, because there's a certain other one that I'm about to pull out of here and talk about. But we do have Luke Skywalker Yavin, and he comes with his medal. That's cool. Not my favorite sculpt of Luke Skywalker, but it's supposed to be a vintage figure, so I get it. Although I think I have seen some kind of better fan-made versions of this version of Luke, but that's neither here nor there. I don't have them. I have this one, and it's for a good price, so that's fine. Yep, same details with the card. So let's look at the next one. And it is Han Solo, an Imperial Stormtrooper outfit. You know, we just wear little outfits. You know, it's not armor, they're uniforms or anything, they're outfits. And he looks pretty awesome. And I do have a fan-made Han in armor. I want to say it was Stan Solo is the guy or company, whatever, that makes it. And they look pretty similar, although I do like that he has the kind of bend in his arm. The face is kind of, there's not too much difference, to be honest, other than the little bend in his right arm, which is fine. Really would be awesome to have a carded version of this, so I may just pick up another pack of these, because I'm slow. I wasn't into this whole retro thing when it came out. I thought it was kind of dumb or whatever, but, you know, actually having some of these in hand, especially the ones that they never made, you know, back in the day, I think that's pretty cool. And I kind of do want an opened and carded version of both, but we'll see what happens here in a second. And last but not least, the one, the only, the guy that has death sentence in 12 systems, Dr. Cornelius Evazan. Or Evazan, whichever you prefer. And that's what he looks like. He looks good. It's really cool to have another Cantina character, especially a very prominent one that, you know, really added to that scene. And he had lines, for crying out loud. You know, first time we see a lightsaber, you know, it's used on this guy. Well, lightsaber in action, I guess. So he comes with a pretty cool little accurate blaster that, well, that's actually the one Ponda Baba had. I guess you could give it to him, and then here is his blaster, which looks cool. And I think they did a great job on him. You know, I think the first actual version of this character that we got in the Power of the Force 2 line, I think this looks better than that one. So I'd probably rather have this one in my Cantina. He looks really good. This guy may be getting opened. So same stuff there. All right. So who are we going to open up? Let's take a look. But before I open any of them, I just wanted to show you. I do have some other of these carded figures in the retro vintage line, or whatever we're calling it, that I'm not going to open. But I did pull off the stickers of the ones, you know, from A New Hope, because I just wanted a nice carded set of these to never be opened. You know, I know they're retro. I mean, there's a date on the card. It's fine. I don't need a big sticker telling me that. But just wanted to see if there's any major differences in these cards from these cards. And there's not. So there's that. So let's open up Dr. Evazan. Oh, I really want to keep him on card, but maybe I'll get another set of these. I don't know. But just the fact that they never made this guy, this is a new action figure. I do want one of these for my A New Hope display. And he's pretty cool. Definitely nice to have a new feeling vintage figure. You know, it's like when you've searched all over for maybe let's just say Han Solo from like Bespin or whatever, and you know the only ones you've been able to get are the paint's all crummy and he feels all loosey-goosey. And it's kind of like when you find one that's actually still in good shape, paint's there, you know, the articulation is still nice and joints are tight. So that's what that kind of feels like. Let's get his blasters out. It's cool that he comes with 2 blasters. Not many vintage figures back in the day came with multiple accessories. I know some of them did, of course, but he comes with, oh, what was that little paper? Oh, doesn't matter. There he is, and we'll give him his blaster. And we'll use his other one here in a second. And that's what he looks like. He looks really cool. And I do have the vintage Ponda Baba, aka Walrus Man, already. So they look good together. I'm not going to open the other one because I've got a vintage one already. But there he is. He looks cool. And let's give him his correct blaster. He came with a E11 Stormtrooper blade. Oh, and he doesn't really hold it too good. That's a bummer. it's just kind of hanging out in his hand, but that's okay. Sometimes I like to use like a little, like sticky, kind of tack stuff to, hold guns in some of these older figures' hands that they just can't hold guns anymore. But, we all get old. What do you do? All right. And here they all are out of package, and I think they look great. If you really like, vintage Star Wars figures, I think this is a no-brainer to pick up. If you find one. Having them all out, I feel like the Luke and the Fleet Trooper maybe share some arms or pieces. No, maybe, or they're maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they look very similar though. But there is Han in the Stormtrooper outfit, as they say. Sandtrooper looks really good. I kind of wish he was weathered a little bit, but I get it. So they look what you would expect, but I think they do look good, and I think they work. I like that Han can hold his DLT-19 like so kind of if you want to use him as a troop builder for Stormtroopers in the background, he looks a little different. Which one's him. This is I want to say Stan Solo. Forgive me if I'm giving incorrect credit to the wrong person. It's been a long time since I bought this figure, but there's not too much difference other than the articulation. Of course, the face sculpt is different. This is a new sculpt. I'm not sure what. I think this was more based on how Han looked in A New Hope. This is probably, if I had to guess, very similar to the head that was on Carbonite Han from Power of the Force, maybe. Very similar, if not. But you can tell that's a nice new, sharp, detailed sculpt there. And very cool. Would have been nice if he had a little black neck seal poking up, but at least we have that, and they look cool. So since I got Han out, here is Luke in Stormtrooper disguise, which you can see mine is yellowed a little bit. That is a custom helmet because, I didn't want to pay hundreds of dollars for a helmet that I'm never going to put on him. Let's see how this is the new helmet that comes with Han. And there is my fan-made one, just painted up all ugly to match the, what Luke got. Luke's helmet looks, was very similar sculpt, but, I think back in the day the paint was a little sloppy, and that was the homage to that. I'd kind of rather have the cleaner-looking paint job. Being vintage figures, I don't care a whole lot either way, but I like the that they went that extra mile with it, and now this hand can go back to being a Stormtrooper. And here is my real Stormtrooper that I've kept in pretty good shape all these years. He's not whitened. He's not yellowed. He's not yellowed or anything, so it looks good. And now we have more Stormtroopers. And the Sandtrooper, he fits right in with them too. Wow, my A New Hope shelf for vintage figures just suddenly got a lot bigger. And Han did come with another smaller E11 blaster, so he can, take that one and give his rifle to Chewie, if you want to react that scene from the detention block. But there they all are, looking good, super vintage, only with, sharper details, sharper sculpt. And, really a lot of these figures back in the day when they sculpted them, the detail was very sharp. If you ever see like prototypes of vintage figures, it's just when they started mass producing them that whatever we got released to the public was a little less sharp because the 70s and early 80s, they hadn't quite fine-tuned that process yet. I don't know, they have now, as a matter of fact, but that's beside the point. Here is the figures. Again, I didn't open Ponda Baba, aka Walrus Man, because I already have that vintage figure. I'll just keep him carded. But there they are, the retro vintage New Hope wave that I'm not sure is a Target exclusive, but I got it at Target, so hopefully you guys can find this if you want. even better, I hope you can find it at, you know, Ollie's or Ross for a very good price, because that's always the reward to those that wait, I suppose. But if you just want to support the brand, pay the full price, just get it done so you know you have it, because you know, you never know what you're going to find on clearance or just disappear. So there they are, and I dig it. Very happy I got it. Thumbs up from me. And I thank you guys for watching this video. I do appreciate y'all. Please give us a like, subscribe. We do have new content every single day. We talk about cool retro G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, you name it. But for now, until then, we're going to throw one back. And on behalf of me and Big Buddy Brad, until tomorrow, we will see ya.